All right, so I guess that took a few seconds longer. I had to muddle through and figure out which one was first. Oh. Ascension to Ire. So we are now going to Solar versus KeeN. And for those who are just joining us on the broadcast, I would like to emphasize again, this is a replay cast. This is the broadcast itself isn't. It's live. Hello, how's it going? This, however, is replays that we are casting in StarCraft 2. They're less than 2 hours old at this point because they couldn't have possibly finished faster than then. And it was unfortunately played out during GSL. Due to this, we just decided to cast them later, say, hey, why not? And viewership's not too bad for it either. I'm not the biggest fan of replay casting. It's all about live. That's why we do stuff on Twitch instead of YouTube. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's true. The days of covering up the replay bar and trying to pass it over as a real game, man.
You just put like your little logo over to the side like Day 9 used to do and stuff. And
that's the way that a lot of tournaments did it, in fact. They never like said it was, well, actually some of them might have said it was live and they should have lied. I think most of them just avoided telling the truth, right?
Yes.
Which is fine enough.
There's actually, I remember very specifically, EG would do a lot of those casts, and you'd have like In Control and stuff casting, and you could tell like it was kind of an annoying frustration. You could hear it in the voice of like, look, I'm not saying it's not live, but I'm also not saying it's not live. Like,
oh man. I forgot the In Control casting for the EG, whatever it was. He was casting with a Dota guy, I think.
You know what?
Legends guy?
There's also, I can't remember which tournament it was they ran. It was like for that router. But like they gave him a mic that was like too high quality, so it didn't even sound like In Control when he was casting. It was weird.
I don't remember that part, but I do remember the router, just thinking that like, I mean, it sounded perfectly normal. It's not surprising, but I just thought, it's the first time I've heard of that being a sponsor.
Well, folks, it's game number 1 in this semifinals. And speaking of sponsors, big love to Twitch and Match Arena for making it happen. We'll talk more on that in a moment. Before we do, though, in the lower right, we've got the Red Zerg player, Solar.
In the top left has the green Terran. He's KeeN.
Okay, real talk for a second. Do you also get really annoyed at the way Wolf says Solar's name? Or is that just me?
How does he say it?
It's like Solar. Like, there's a weird emphasis on it.
No, I understand. There's actually two names that really get me. Two accents on names that really get me. And that was one. I do remember that. And that's on purpose. I think that's just his accent. That's just the way that he says it. Then In Control was saying someone's name weird, too, over this weekend.
Kalazur.
Yes, exactly.
It wasn't even, you know what?
No, I should have asked. I was like, is this like a joke that I'm in on? Kind of like, or is it like an Idra thing for Artosis? Or what is this? And I guess it was just kind of a running joke.
I was going to say, I wasn't sure what the deal was either because I tuned into the broadcast and I didn't mind that he was saying it wrong or incorrect or whatever. It's that he was inconsistent. It's like every second time it was different, right? It's like Kelazur into Kalazur into Kelaz. I'm like, okay, I feel like there's something going on here. Like, I'm not sure what I missed out on.
Collard greens. Yeah, it's not a name that, like, sometimes you look at a name and you're like, for even a native speaker, I can see how you can be confused, whether it's the hard A or the soft A or whatever, right? But that name, I feel like never ever said Kelazur.
Dude, the worst is Anders versus Anders, because one's got a hard on.
Oh, good one. I was going to say one's a really crappy character in Dragon Age that I don't understand the fan appeal to.
By the way, shout out to anyone else that watches Workaholics. So this TvZ, by the way, nothing too crazy, so I'm not opening up with any all-ins of any kind. But more importantly, KeeN didn't go for 3x Reaper or any variation of it.
No, he did not. No. I mean, I feel like we mention it so often because we cast players that do it so often, but really in the grand scheme of things, there are enough Terran players that it's really not that consistent. It's 50-50 between the players and then like 90% on individual players type thing. There's a lot of math involved in that. But you get my point. And like KeeN has never really been that guy who just always does 2x Reaper. He can.
No, it's
more
so
often than not. Lately, he's not done it.
When you see the top Terrans doing such a build in such a popular manner, though, it's definitely something where you go like, look, not everyone's doing this, but should everyone be doing this?
Well, the way that it happens, though, is always a thing.
Ooh.
Oh.
These Hellions are starting to roast up a bit more than they should have. Got two more coming in, too. Still dealing with the first bunch. These trade out for a lot of the Lings, too, so there's not as many to deal with these ones, but I guess a little bit scared to go in there. Not feeling too keen to get in the base with the follow-up.
Good one. KeeN jokes. KeeN punts. Oh, Viking does take out the Overlord and might get 1 or 2 more.
Oh, he's doing a dangerous thing. He's putting a command center as part of the wall. This is
KeeN's
risky.
always lived on the command center on the wall side of things, the wild side.
It's a risky click, dude. I wouldn't do it.
I went to that subreddit. It's like, I think maybe it's literally called Risky. Or maybe it's called 50-50. I can't remember.
50-50. Yes. That's like the best subreddit. 'Cause it's like, either this is like a bunch of cute bears or it's someone graphically dying horrifically.
But it's always the nice one.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
I went through randomly and chose like 10 of them because I was afraid, I'm not going to lie. Like I didn't do every single one.
You know,
I chose like a good number of them and I always get the nice one.
People always do there's a lot, it was like a YouTuber popular thing for a while to do, like the 50-50 challenge, and they would just do it together. We should do a video like that next time we go, or fuck it, Atlanta, we got a whole day where we're not doing anything. Just pull up a laptop and go 50-50 and film ourselves looking at it.
We're actually in the heart of Atlanta. I was looking into some things to do.
Oh, is there actually cool stuff to do?
And a gym? Yeah. It's
that sounds like healthy people things. I'm not interested in those.
Like, I don't think it's really the coolest things to do, right? But it's some things to do. The coolest thing would be going to a zoo, which is not near there.
I didn't get to go to the zoo last time we were at a place because of my allergies. I kind of wish there was a zoo now.
I almost went to the Japanese zoo, and I was like, you know, I probably shouldn't spend 48 hours, like 7 of those hours, at a zoo that I can actually see. I can literally see the same animals back at home, because we also have pandas in DC.
Pandas are so dumb and cute.
We have baby pandas in DC.
Oh, hey, by the way, Solar's going for the Hydra Den, and I'm trying to, was it Solar? No, it was Rogue who did Lurkers the other day. Yeah, just yesterday even.
Correct, yeah. Solar kind of, I think, pushed forward the Hydra style, though, just speaking of, I guess, developments of styles. So it is cool to have him. I don't want to call him the mastermind and the original or call it the Solar build or anything like that, but I feel like he really pushed it hard back when we were still kind of, like, hesitant to believe it was really gonna be a thing. And apparently it's a very powerful thing. Parents are legit scared of Hydras.
Okay, there was a tank. I was like, what happened to that Zergling just now? Just spontaneously combusted. Apparently not quite the case, though. Hellions are not going to do anything. These queens have got more than enough transfuses. So here we are now approaching the game where Banelings are in play. We got a small drop in the main, but Hydra should easily deal with this, even if it wasn't for Banelings. Beauty of Hydra, they do shred medevac support, but oh, actually losing some of that link support immediately. Still gets pushed off.
It gets pushed off, but it lives.
So
I think it's more than what it should be.
There's a couple of different avenues to deal with Hydralisks. One of them is you go tanks and maybe some combination of Liberators, and the other is to just get like massive amounts of bio. KeeN's got a really good production on Marines right now, but my concern is like, with no Marauders in play, if he'll be able to adequately soak those Banelings. And this is where I guess the tanks become really important. They gotta shoot those Banelings out of the distance. They gotta be on the front line too. It's gonna take a lot of dancing from KeeN not to take massive damage from Solar's composition. But Solar's army supply, not the scariest thing right now.
I think Vast Marine is a better way to go against this. A couple of Marauders just in case, just to soak up any of the Banelings that do manage to roll in by. Medevacs, please. Okay, fine, but. Yeah, I think the better way to go is play like Ling Baneling Hydra, or that's what it is. Ling Baneling Muta, which is to go mostly Mass Marine.
Well, it looks like he's not quite going to get the hatcher, but the tanks do get a good blast on the Banelings. Falling back behind the tanks now, the Marines going to do what they can, but the Banelings still connect to get a lot of the Marines.
Oh, this did not go as well as KeeN was hoping for. You know, if he hadn't lost the 10 Marines, this actually would not be bad trade at all.
Yeah,
push that back.
At the same time, though, credit to Solar for getting that hit off. He dove through tank lines, Liberators, and Marines just to get to those Marines. Not something I think was easily done. In fact, a couple of wrong misclicks, and he probably just like ends up losing that fight really badly. But oh no, KeeN, don't go! You know there's Hydras. You know there's gonna be Queens. Don't go dropping with your weak medevacs.
This is such a bad idea. Why, lordy, why? Okay, well, those I feel are just gonna die instantly, but we'll see what happens. Solar is setting up a couple of run buys, it looks like. KeeN is still setting up for drops. KeeN went for fast 2 factories, getting extra production. No 4th base quite yet, and that's what I'm waiting to see here. But this game is getting accelerated pretty quickly to Hive. As such, ultras.
Oh god, he actually gets out of there.
Very worried for KeeN.
Yeah, Hive looks a lot scarier than anything currently in play, but that being said, everything currently in play looks scary too, so not exactly a lot of bright lights for him to walk towards, other than the one that's his death.
I mean, I was gonna say, is like, it usually just means you're death, man. It's not usually a good thing. Although I guess it means you're going to heaven and not hell.
Well, it's
wouldn't hell be quite light?
It's the light at the end of the tunnel. It's the hope.
You're not wrong, but I feel like the phrase you use is almost exclusively
I feel
for,
when you say you're not wrong, it's another way to say you're wrong.
But like it's a technical thing, right? And technical is the best or something like that. I don't know.
Technically correct is the best kind of correct.
Like, most people use it the other way. Creep was starting to get a lot of control in the middle of the map. That's not even the most important part of the map for anyone, but KeeN followers to clean up anyway. And then runs out of a stim. Good.
Okay, so I was wondering if he was just waiting to get off creep to turn around and fire or what, but oh, I got so scared with those banelings. Problem is, though, still, even with a few Marauders now in production, I feel like he's really late to the late game table. He's still got his baby bib on and all that. Like this is an army that can fight what's currently here. It's not an army that can fight what's coming.
I just imagine the late game table is like the far end of that picture with Jesus and the Saints, right? It's like
if we just panned over slightly, like
why do you put us all the way over here? Why did you order a 26-person table for 13 people?
Well, it might just be the Last Supper for this guy. Actually, it's game 1, so that's not even the right statement yet.
Nah. I mean, the Last Supper might have been the Last Supper, but it really was only the beginning of that story, so maybe it still kind of works out. Jesus being, crucified is kind of maybe the last game that KeeN loses.
So this Jesus tender, it's like, I don't know why it says 21. I'm like really 1,000 years old. I've only been nailed once though. I was like, oh shit.
He was actually nailed like 4 times.
By the way, the choke works out pretty well. He actually takes on the Ultras. Kindness Buddy was not done for this fight. That went so much better for KeeN than expected. That being said, though, he's taking a lot of damage on the other side of the map.
He did a surprisingly good job taking care of it, though. I mean, that was 2 run buys.
Oh, guys, you've got no escape.
Lings.
Oh, wait, yes, they do. The hot pickup getaway. That was
KeeN
so...
He's making a game out of this, man. Saving units left and right. Kind of fighting's done now, so probably just dies.
That was like watching...
his effort.
That was a calculated bank heist of an escape. That was awesome. All right, well, as he does reel back from this, the SCV count might not be huge, but there's mules. He can eventually land this base. Maybe he won't be in such a bad spot. But right now, Solar's money game is on point, and while he doesn't have a lot of bank right now, his income looks fantastic.
Yeah. Reaching pretty high up there in the 1000s. KeeN, as I was saying, like, he didn't actually take that much damage from what I thought was going to be a lot of chaos. 9 SCVs and a lifted 4th base, now turning into a planetary. He manages to keep an even supply. It's not the best looking supply, not a ton of Marauders, not a ton of Liberators, but it is an okay one to defend. But keyword there is defend. I don't know if it's really time to push out this army. I think it's time to kind of just turtle a little bit more until you have 6 Liberators, maybe then.
And he's green, just like turtles aren't actually, but are in comics.
Some turtles gotta be green. There's so many species in the world.
I think they lean more towards gray, no?
There's a bunch of different colors. Like there's red and black turtles.
But they don't look like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, they don't stand on 2 feet, so.
And they don't do ninja moves. You're right. Got me there, Zombie Grub.
I don't know where you're going with that. That was never gonna work.
Do they eat pizza? Probably not. I feel my whole life and my knowledge of turtles has all been a lie.
I'm trying to imagine a real turtle eating pizza. You know how like sometimes they have trouble eating things that are flat on the ground? So good.
Alright, Ultralisk do have Kindness playing, so they can actually take the hits this time around. Marauders do what they can. The tank spread here is real nice, but the Bailey's still get on top of everything. Liberator got abducted. I didn't realize Vipers were in play, but that may not matter. The Hydras, I think, are going to clean up what the Ultras did not. This isn't looking good for KeeN. He does trade out better than expected, but man, this isn't something you recover from.
I just really wish, I feel like he could have done a little bit better and he waited a little bit longer. You know, or tried to force Solo to come to him. Something like that. Because he did have an okay army, and he was building a better one with more tanks and more Liberators. But it was probably the throw moment right there. Throwing away your army, throwing away game. I mean, he wasn't winning the game at any point, don't get me wrong, but that was just the moment where everything was absolutely game over.
I'm just trying to think of like some sort of real life Kimmy Schmidt character that grew up thinking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were a turtle. Like that's what all turtles are like, because they grew up like in a bunker. They didn't know better.
I feel like she made a joke at the Ninja Turtles expense along the same lines in season 3. Is it now?
I don't know, but GG Solar will secure game number 1. Very nicely done. Now, if you guys could do us a favor here real quick, by all means, if you don't want to do this, don't feel pressured to do this, but we got a Match Arena page set up. We got no coupon codes for today. Normally we do. Normally that's an awesome thing we have running. We don't today. So this is my fault entirely. I'm not going to pretend like it's not. But we do want to try and get these guys up to $500 in prizing if at all possible. We're currently at 445. We put in the initial 400. Fear Dragon, Laser, SCQ, Hard Revenge, and Darius have helped us bring it up to 445. If any of you guys got a couple of bucks, just $2 even, jingling around your pockets type thing. Anything helps, really. So type exclamation mark Match Arena to see the page if you're at all interested. Otherwise, just sit tight and enjoy the show. Because whether we hit that prize pool or not, we've got the tournament completed. We got replays to cast. And we're hopping into game number 2 on Defender's Landing. Okay, so for those who don't know, real quick, there's no map vetoes for this. It's loser's pick. It's a weird choice for the Terran for this one, I think. But in the bottom left, he's up 1-0 currently. It's the Red Zerg Solar.
In the top right, as the red, nope, that's green. Green Terran, it's KeeN.
The red D2 fight Green Terran, KeeN.
If I did the whole QXC thing, then I probably could have recovered in time to do that. But I chose the opposite way of just admitting and moving on.
Well, I now see a small hiccup of a problem that may not be an issue.
Okay.
And this makes a little more sense. This was map number 1.
Sorry, I just rolled my eyes. I don't need to clear to everyone.
So,
wait, how is this number 1?
Well,
it wasn't number 1 in the last series.
Okay, well, this is where we have the problems. This is part of the shit show we're having today. Because this is labeled as game number 2 in StarCraft 2. Right? But I've been told that the map order was not this. By one of the players.
I don't know who to believe then.
You know what?
Well,
it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the score is going to be what the score is going to be. Like, for example, hypothetically, guys, I don't know this particular case. Let's say KeeN turns this around. It's 3-1, right? Or maybe it was a 3-2. The point is, somebody in the series is going to have 3 wins and the other won't. So we'll know who's going to win this series regardless of the map order as we play it out.
Yes. Yeah, I guess.
But this makes a little more sense because I'm like, why would KeeN pick Defender's Landing after losing that first map? Like that.
We could get to a situation where we have like 3s to 1, and there's still a 5th game though. That's
true. I don't have all the replays like in hand right now, so I don't know. I'm just saying it might not be a big issue, but I'm just bringing it up that there's the disparity.
Yeah. But this is something that happened a lot actually when I used to cast stupid online tiny leagues that could never get anything right. As everyone started off with in StarCraft. And the biggest issue was not like that, that happened where you were like a 4-1 and then you just didn't have any more replays or something like that. in a best of 9 or whatever.
Like-
But it was that people would say good luck in the finals in game number 3 or something, and you'd be like,
Oh, yeah, okay, I see. Well, actually,
it's awkward.
yeah, it's awkward into the middle of the series. I think the only time we've really had issues with replays, though, in the past for us was, I think we cast something out of order one time. Like, we don't do a lot of replays, so I don't even remember what this was.
CSL probably gave us the replays in the wrong.
I
In
think-
fact, I'm pretty sure that was the
I was
case.
gonna say, I think it was CSL, and it was one of those things where it was supposed to be like a 3-2, but it ended up being a 3-0 with the way we cast.
Yeah, but there's like so many weird things about CSL 2, and that they told us to cast games that would legitimately be the difference between having to cast more of those games, you know? Remember that whole like chestnut?
I will tell you guys right now,
It's so
I don't have many bad things to say about CSL. They're good people trying to do good things, but they're very disorganized, and I did not enjoy working with them because of that. But
right.
big love for what they do, because it's not just StarCraft. They try and organize a lot of stuff. A lot of
yeah.
my I guess opinions and visions did not align with theirs.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even mind the disorganization. It's like, yeah, I think it's a lot of what we had to work with when we were like younglings and anyone has to work with in StarCraft. But it was more just like how lenient they were, which caused this organization.
Oh, you guys
know,
want to
it's one
break
thing
the
to have-
rules? Okay, well, this is your 5th time, but the 6th time it's not going to
Yeah.
be okay.
It was one thing to have miscommunication, another thing just to like continue letting it be because someone intentionally almost like screwed up. I
like-
feel like sometimes it was
it's like-
actually
Oh, the deciding match player isn't here? That's fine. We'll just go to the next guy and pretend that like we played it.
yeah, it was the weirdest thing. So I think saying that it didn't align with similar viewpoints is like the easiest way to say it. But there is, I mean, I think that might even happen in Copa America, 4 years ago, right? There's been a lot of tournaments that have just been like, eh.
Actually, on topic of Copa America, because I actually do have salt about Copa America. We could go to a whole talk show about that one. I will say, though, their production team was probably one of the best we've worked with, though, in terms of like online
yeah.
stuff. They nailed it in that regard. But, man, I can't say anything else. I'll get in trouble.
Yeah. No, it's mostly taken care of. It's just that usually replays are not being used. Pretty rare nowadays.
Well, anyways, regardless of all that, we're at this point where, regardless of how Game 1 went, in whatever order it was supposed to be, we're here now in Game number 2. And Solar's doing a couple of really weird things here, frankly. One, an Overlord drop. Don't know what the plan for this is. Secondly, Ravager? Like he's going to bring the Queens with him, and he's just going to attack. Oh, this is... Okay, I like this a lot. I was like, what was the point of Overlord dropping 2 Ravagers? But he's actually just going to shuffle the Queens with him for the anti-air and, like, super hit hard with this all in.
Bit of a Solar special. I mean, if he pushed Hydras pretty hard, that's one thing, but I think that he is the only guy really doing this consistently. And, I mean, it might have been because it seems like he always does it, or only does it, when Hellion Banshee is in play. So when he sees a start with a Tech Lab. That seems to be the only reason he does it, but I don't know if that's exactly the reason he does it.
Well, beauty is these Queens, they've got transfuses aplenty. Breaks this depot wall, and there's no bunkers up just yet. Tank of the back line might not even be that impressive.
Might not be.
Should be 2 Corsair Bows, 3 Corsair Bows going into it, take it down.
This is still enough damage otherwise, right?
Cool.
Like, the Banshee's still alive. We
Transfuse
finally
it
get
before you
taken out of the
translose it! There you go!
But the Ravagers and Queens, the Queens are alive, the Ravagers die, the Lings
Well, it's
die,
fun-
reinforcements, not gonna matter.
As I say, Solar almost did enough damage, taps out, so KeeN gets a point on the board and things are tied up on 1. So it doesn't matter anyways with the map order, but as you say, those Queens were almost doing enough damage to make that a worthwhile, but I guess losing the rest of it, it didn't matter about the worker harass, it was just like game time.
Yeah, it was 3 CC and you had no more army and it was a bad army to begin with. I mean, you do a lot.
Well, guys, we're going to go to a small commercial break while I try and get something started here with the map order. I'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Thanks for watching. All right, we're back. We're not hopping directly into game yet, so I'm not going to be explaining anything else. We're just going to continue on the replays as is. I do want to take this time, though, to give a big thank you to those who are helping us out on Match Arena today. We've actually surpassed our goal now thanks to your contributions, guys, and this is awesome because, again, as stated, we had some issues with Rifkin just being a dumbass, frankly. So just give some screen region love here to these fine folks who just recently threw some bucks here to the prize pool, make it bigger and better. Yeah, we left off with theirs earlier. A-List then gives us $5. Unremitting puts 10. Akurasi throws 10, says as long as you guys keep playing well, people will keep paying to make it continue to happen. Dropship Magic throws in $5 to say BaseTradeTV puts on the best matches in StarCraft 2. Thank you, Dropship Magic. Can we get some love for this guy in chat? Like G throws in $20.69. I should probably just censor this. Oh, no, shit, no, don't do that. I didn't mean to click it. Thank you for the $20, Lycan. A-List throws in 31, though, to even out Lycan's odd donation. So thank you, A-List, for my OCD. And then last but not least, Esna throws in $50 out of nowhere to get that top donation slot for the day. Of course, so you guys are aware, the money for this is paying for the prize pool of the tournament. We seeded the first 400. You guys have helped us fill out almost 150. That's so awesome for the players playing. But, of course, all 4 of the players you watch today get paid because top 4 get paid. There's no round of 8. Feels bad, man. But let's get into game number 3. Kicking it off here on Proxima Station. Spawning in the top right side, we've got the Red Zerg Solar.
In the bottom left as the green Terran, he's KeeN.
Oh, and it's dual accept. Yeah, sorry, it's dual accept. One word.
That's what I told him. That's what he did. Didn't work.
Oh. It should have. Anyways, also on top of this, we had Dropship Magic throw $5 our way, Zombie Grub, to say, well, the same message. BTTV puts on the best and most exciting matches. Much love. Keep up the good work. Thank you for the $5, dude. As well, hit us up with a 2-month resub, and Bradford Oddfellow with the 5 months for that sub train. Thank you guys so much. Keep the Twitch stream and dream alive.
Cool beans. I have to buy a can of beans. Several cans of beans.
And keep them slightly chilled, but not quite cold, so that they're cool beans.
How would you do that, Rifkin? Put them in the cellar?
You'd just keep them in the shade and out of the sun.
I don't know, man. It's pretty hot. I don't think it's gonna work.
Well, then maybe you should cover up your face.
Because it's hot?
Because you're hot. This is what I do with the emote with the 2 guys pointing the fingers. Hey.
It doesn't make any sense. Usually it just makes a little bit of sense because it's hot outside to cover my face because it's also hot.
Yeah, you're. Yo, just don't put the beans in the corner of the room. It's always 90 degrees over there.
See, now that one is a good one. I'll applaud that one. But not physically, not enough to actually raise my hand.
You're like, I blew air out of my nose a little bit harder than I normally would. Well done. Well
Usually
played.
I don't mind giving a couple claps, you know, like 1 or 2, but I just really don't want to lift my hands right now.
Actually, the only claps I've ever been proud of was when we were drunk and I made the David Kim joke with the Band-Aids, and you're just like, you're walking away applauding. I was just like, yes! Nailed it!
There have been some times where I've just burst out. I feel more often whenever I'm thoroughly amused by something is not because you intentionally are trying to make me laugh, right? It's
because I did
dumb
something
shit we
dumb.
talk about.
Or I introduced players wrong.
The turtle thing, man. I don't know what's funny.
Someone's got that clip handy. I know someone does. In the grand finals, I just like gave up in the middle of speaking. Okay, so Solar, by the way, with the all-in was not so unsurprising. It was Defender's Landing. I don't think he'd be prompted to do the same build here on Proxima, but Solar's also a really good player. He's way better at Zerg than me, so who am I to try and guess what he does? I think, though, that like it was map dependent.
Yeah. Well, Defender's Landing, as we were trying to explain, but it didn't really matter because apparently it was the default map choice in the first place. Let's forget all that happened. Defender's Landing is one of the maps that, at one point in time in history of StarCraft, Terrans were a lot scarier on that map than the Zerg was. But times have really flipped, and I think Zerg all-ins and Zerg pressure is a lot scarier on a small map like that. So, makes sense that Solar trying all-in. It can work. In fact, it works a lot of the time. But he had some pretty good units against it. And now he's going into mech with double factory. Something that the Overlord did in fact scout.
I'm not happy to see this, though. And I'm the guy who gets happy when I see any hint of mech. And it's because KeeN really didn't have a good mech showing the other day watching him do this. The Thors were used a bit awkwardly. It's not even just mech. It's like, oh, wait. Is he doing like a Cyclone Hellion all-in? Oh, man. I haven't seen anyone do this since like the Muslim in the beta.
It was a pretty quick second factory, you know. Like usually mech builds, especially on Proxima Station, are based around a fast third because that's what you can get and that's what you need. So I was expecting something along these lines. I mean, it would have been cool to see Blue Flame Hellion come back, but that's never gonna happen. So just might as well give up on that dream.
All right, making this clear, guys. This is something that can totally catch Solar off guard here. But at the same time, this thing falls apart so easily. Like, I actually have very little faith in this working. There's a reason a lot of people don't do this.
The fact that it's already scouted is really bad. Like, there is no, especially with seeing the Cyclones kill his Overlord, there's no misreading this from Solar. He knows it's going to happen, and the only thing that could go badly for him, I think, is over-dedicating to the defense. If he's literally so scared about the attack that he just makes Roaches and Lings and never moves out with them. But Solar's way too good of a Zerg player to do that, so he's going to defend this, deflect this, and then probably try and deny that third base for a little while. May or may not work, but as an opener, I'm not positive KeeN's going to do anything with it.
Yeah, what's really funny is all you really need is the Ravagers, not even the Roaches. Usually the biggest danger to this is the Cyclones. They deal so much damage. They pummel your Roaches with the bonus armor, bonus damage versus armored. Like, turn those into Ravagers, suddenly they don't take the bonus damage, and this is a lot easier to deal with. And Ravagers are super extra sweet because they're just not anything. They're not light either, so the Hellions are not effective against them. This is just a tough spot, and I don't feel like KeeN's going to... I don't think he's going to live, frankly. Third base, Solar could easily attack into.
His attack wasn't even defended. It just never happened. Not really. It's
straight up just aborted before we got a chance to begin. Like, this is...
Yeah.
Like, you just somewhere in the command center, they're screaming, like, abort mission! Mashing down that big red button.
Yeah. I mean, Solar, so now it's kind of the flip scenario of what I was describing. The worst thing you could do is, like, make units and never use them. Now the worst thing you could do is continue making units and not actually break KeeN, right? He is all-inning here with no lair, no upgrades, no roach speed, etc., etc. But KeeN, I think he just still dies anyway. Certainly going to lose control of his third base. Gotta lift that. For me, it's that fact that his Hellion Hellbat count isn't really that high. Cyclones are scary, but not when there's so many Lings around them controlling them. But they do have that ramp, and that might not be something that Solar can break, so he is going into the macro game again.
If that 1-1 had finished, maybe it still does, but if that 1-1 had finished, this was a fight he maybe could have taken through this choke. But the fact that he's been beaten back to 2 bases puts him in such a bad spot that there's not going to be a proper transition out of this. He's still just going heavy on the Cyclones. And, like, right now, what's scary is, like, the Cyclones are limited by their range. Like, they're really fast attacking units, but with fairly short range, they'll get 3 or 4 shots off, and the Solar just walks out of range of them. Like, this is really tough for KeeN. If there was a way for him to force Solar to fight like he was pushing into Solar's base, great. This is where the Cyclones are amazing. But defending, this is where they do not excel.
Right, and going down a tiny choke, nah, not going to be possible. Now, Solar can't go up the choke, so it's a stalemate, but one that is absolutely favoring Solar, who is continuing to macro, where KeeN is absolutely just cut in that tower, stuck in a mid-game here. Trying to get Banshees is kind of a clever move, but it's going to take a long time. And Solar, I mean, what? So he sees a Banshee and then runs away. He still got so much benefit off of doing this push.
See him pushing out the barracks, trying to scout him. What's kind of funny is, I guess, like, we've seen Banshees hold off all-in versions of this, right? But this is kind of past the point of, like, an early all-in. Like, I really... I'm scared at the same time a little bit for Solar, not by much. Like, at some point, KeeN gets down this ramp, and he opens the floodgates, and then he attacks. And Solar, it's coming up against Cyclones and Hellions. They're going to have +2. Like, these are going to chew through anything they hit if they get to attack head-on. But that's where Solar really shouldn't be doing. Like, with creep spread and speed, it should be a hit-and-run game for him, not a sit-and-fight game.
I'm not even sure he's going to have to. If he was to get maxed out on whatever unit he wants, Banelings, Hydras, Roaches, Lings, I don't care. If he's maxed out, KeeN just simply does not have a good enough army to really, truly threaten, even with decent upgrades and the power of Cyclones. Alright, well, everything I just listed, forget that because he went for Swarm Hosts. Okay, I don't know. I thought he could just run away with this game. Swarm Hosts are going to extend the life of the game, though, and maybe give KeeN a way back into it.
By the way, I don't know if I'm mad or sad about this or happy. Someone actually put that finals command as like a command you can type in chat, like !finals, and it links the clip of the greatest introduction of all time. for StarCraft 2.
Those are your forte. Introductions.
Shut up. You're real mean.
You try and get too fancy. You try so hard.
Well, we got this
Wow.
far.
Yeah, we got this far on announcing finals.
But in the end, it didn't even matter.
Imagine how much farther we... No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, stop. Rude. Okay, Swarm Hosts are a great idea, but Cyclones will take care of these pretty quickly. But while they're busy dealing with the Locusts, everything else moves in. Corrosive Bow's rain, death from above, tanks go down, KeeN loses a lot of supply. And that was just the first wave.
Right, that was just the first wave. I still feel like if Solar had maxed out with other units, it would have been... Well, or even like Vipers or something. Like, Swarm Host just a kind of a puzzler to me, but he really thought he needed them. He's still going to make them. 7 more on the way. But it looks like KeeN's going to live another day. He's going to live to transition out of Hellbat Cyclone and a couple more tanks. 4th base is a planetary.
Solar is aggressively spreading 12 creep tumors at a time.
Yeah.
Oh my god, look how fast that creep spread. What? That was like instant! What the fuck?
Well, that's what happens when you just freely alt-click them and spread it.
Yeah. Alright, well, Whoosh J asks in chat, hey, I'm coming to DreamHack Atlanta trying to find detailed schedule. Can you point me towards one? No, sadly, because we don't even have one. I don't even know what the layout looks like. I'm a little frustrated. But I can tell you this much. The StarCraft 2 tournament, at least, is on the 22nd, and it starts at, I believe, 1 p.m. local time? Time zones maybe there is an issue.
1 p.m. EDT.
There you go. And the grand finals will be after the Overwatch finals on the main stage, which I'm really excited about. It'll be like first time we've had like a
Wait.
real big main stage.
There's Overwatch there?
I think it's the Overwatch final. There's something before us, and we start at 3/ whenever that one is done.
I would be so surprised. I think the continuation of the World Cup Finals is happening in Australia this weekend. At least I thought it was.
It might be like a BYOC Overwatch or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that might just be what it is.
The point is, we've got the last slot on Sunday, so 3 p.m.
Yeah.
EDT.
I know it's a fairly large CSGO event. That's about all I know, though. And let's start that. But this, as I was saying, you know, this game went on for a lot longer than I thought it was, and I feel like some of that Solar just being a little apprehensive, rightly so. 2/2 Cyclone Hellbat is scary, but also for deciding to go into Swarm Host,
If
which he did.
He kills the starports, then he can transition into Spire. Oh, get a couple of Brood Lords in this game is ogre.
Probably. But you know, KeeN managed to get to almost maxed out, so he takes the opportunity of seeing all the Locusts now gone to push forward. Maybe flashbacks to his game versus Rogue, though, a little more careful, scanning ahead, seeing how many Banelings there are, because he actually got killed by like 40, 50 Banelings.
Yeah, Rogue playing was like 50 Banelings every 3 seconds, it felt like. It was insane. Locusts come off cooldown, though. They move on in. Not a lot of anti-air. No Thors to shoot these out of the sky. Not enough Blue Flame Hellbats to shoot them on the ground either. There's no Blue Flame in play, but the tanks, despite some friendly fire, do take care of the Locusts. Solar suddenly looking like he might be in some trouble.
You know, they were all clumped on one of those units. The tanks did a very good job of dealing with the Locusts, and I'm so surprised that KeeN is bringing back this game. Solar is not without an army quite yet, but so much of the supply is in Lings and Swarm Hosts. Not really convincing units, and KeeN is going to be able to rally forward even with whatever Hellions he's
no,
making.
no. He just got a lot of his Hellbats killed up north.
Well, he should just be remaking them. And,
but the point is, none of these Locusts are ready to go again. The tanks are unguarded. They're going to friendly fire each other down if the Locusts don't kill them. If Solar sends them in at all. Like, if he just micros them past the Hellbats, doesn't land on what's immediately in front of him, but takes them straight to the tanks, he'll win this fight. But he lands in front of him, takes out the Hellbats. Might not matter. The Hydras and Lynx go over the break. Blinding Clouds come in and play. Tanks going down. Friendly fire on the ones that are in the clouds. And the Locusts are still pushing forward.
You know, that really sucks, because those Vikings, they were looking for or they should have been looking for the Vipers, thought they were coming from the east. They're actually coming from the north. They at least should have died. Ideally, they don't even send any Blinding Clouds down at all, because there really wasn't much protecting them. That's just unfortunate lack of presence for KeeN, and he loses his entire mech army for it, and probably the game.
Oh man, the missile turret's down too. A lot of this was supposed to deter attacks, but nothing here is gonna stop. Solar's up. Way too much supply. And if you guys want to consider it like this, Locusts have like a 45-second cooldown. Tanks have a much longer than 45-second build time. Like, there's just no way you can keep up with it once you lose that momentum at this point.
Yeah. Man, there's no momentum take back for KeeN. He's scanning to see just how much trouble he's in, and I guess it doesn't look like very much with Solar only just barely being on 5 bases. But it's more the fact that he can't, get over 100 supply. It's usually when the Terran dips out.
GG. Okay, Solar now with a 2-1 lead in these semifinals. I know that the community update thing was touching base on like maybe they'll look at possibly changing Swarm House type thing. What I find interesting though is I never considered this point till I just said it. Like, Terran units take so long to build out of so many different factories and reactors, etc., that you actually might not even be able to keep up with the cooldown of the Locust once you start falling behind. Like, it might just be through cooldown versus build time, not unit composition, not upgrades. Like, that might be where that unit starts getting way too strong. But let's get you in the lobby. Guys, we're going to a quick break here. I actually have to refill my water. I'm dry as a... What's dry?
I was like really wondering where you're gonna go with that.
I'm dry as a not wet sponge, and I need some water. We'll see you guys in 2 minutes, and we'll get to game number 4. All right, we're gonna transition directly into game. It's map number 4. Welcome back to the BTSL finals. Of course, if you guys are watching this live, howdy doody. I'm sorry that these are done through replays, but it was the only way to get this done for today. But this is a live cast, which is awesome. If you're watching it on July 19th at 9:22 a.m. Pacific time.
Here it is.
But okay, game number 4. He leads 2-1. In the bottom right, we got Solar.
The top left has the green Terran. He's KeeN.
All right, so we had the other series go to 5. Do you think this one will too?
No.
I feel like KeeN's good enough to take Solar on. There's no question about that, but it's like I don't feel nearly as confident in him winning versus Solar winning.
I don't know if that's even true. KeeN at one point was like, for me, like, okay, he's getting better. He's like showing him more things. He seems to be getting improvements every time I see him. But now he's just kind of back down to like, okay, he shows up to everything and he gets okay results, but it's not impressing me anymore in his developments. He's kind of stagnated again, basically. Whereas Solar has gone from being that guy to me that always had such hype around him, but didn't really ever perform well when I got to watch him, to actually performing pretty well every time I got to watch him. So I would be surprised to see this as a 3-1 instead of a 3-0, but I know why that would be because, one of the games was an all-in. So that didn't work, okay, but I still think that it's going to be Solar's game this time here, too.
I just realized that, well, I'm going to ask, is Shania Twain your idol by chance?
Not at all. I don't even really remember what she does or looks like.
I say she's got that one song, it's like, don't impress me much.
Ah, right. Country person.
I feel like, overall, that's a great way to summarize Zombie Grub most of the time, though.
I mean,
you're not easily impressed. We're polar opposites in that regard. I'm like, ooh, shiny, and you're like, okay, cool.
It's true. Just to know what to impress me with.
Goodbye, Zergling. All right, so Reaper gets a kill, so he's going to be able to confidently go across the map. Now knowing that there's not going to be 2 lings canceling the SCV, canceling the command center, being annoying. I guess just going to go the long way and hop up to the main. I mean, it's worth noting Solar did do the all-in in the series, so it's definitely going to be on KeeN's mind to look for something like that, but he's not going to see anything here.
No. Unfortunately, though, even if it was that Roach all-in, the Roach doesn't come down quite yet, I don't think, so this Reaper would have to get a second scout. But I'm more interested in what this SCV is doing all the way to the bottom left. It might just be scouting for a third base to the left, because that's what Zergs are, doing nowadays. It's the new hip thing to do, while the Reaper checks the one to the right. I mean, I can't think of anything else that an SCV would do down there. Starport's already made. You don't build a second one of these. He's gonna hide the armory? I guess because there's been so many Overlord speed timings hitting them.
Actually,
okay.
This is kind of cool, though. Like, yeah, Overlord speed discount, and that's exactly what Solar's doing. A normal Hellion attack, I don't think, prompts you to build much. But a Hellbat attack prompts you to build defense. And right now, Solar only sees what is a normal opening. Maybe he even thinks it's a Hellion drop, right? But the point is, he's going to be droning and not making a ton of Zerglings. This armory for a Hellbat attack, this could be some really, really cool tricks out of KeeN. I'm feeling better for KeeN right now, that's for sure. But let's see how long this lasts. Because Solar with just Queens, ideally, perfectly handled, like, would be able to defend this. But this is going to hit at a pretty nice timing. 5 or so Hellions heading across the map immediately. Medevac and Toe is going to be able to heal those as well once they're in Hellbat form.
This is kind of abusing Solar's consistent Overlord speed. He really thought he was safer than he was.
It's like using the information against him, and that's what I think is so cool about this attack. But still coming in here, Queen spread, no splash damage. Spinecrawler finishes up, but they sniped off the Medevac, and that was like one of the key elements of this attack.
Yeah. There's not really any additional units, too, right? Like, the Medevac healing the Hellbats is always very good, but these Marines or Banshees or something, and they're not quite here yet.
I fear that this is just falling flat for KeeN now. This was such a cool attack, though. I really like this.
I like the idea a lot, but for me, it was... You know, when's the last time an armory build has really done a ton of damage? Well, yesterday we got to see Rogue deal with it absolutely flawlessly against the same guy without even any knowledge of it, too, so...
Okay, that's a fair point to bring up. I was going to say, though, in response to the first question, we haven't really seen it happen because it's always scouted, though. Like, it's usually not something that's a problem because everyone knows how to deal with it, I guess, is how I'm looking at this. But you're right, like Rogue yesterday did, unfortunately, dismantle armory builds.
I don't know if it's always scouted. I just feel like since Zergs know how to deal with it now, like Calm, Queen Spread, Queen Micro, Creep Spread, even a little bit of it helps too, a couple of Lings. Well, if you just have an idea it could happen because you saw a Hellion opener, I feel like it's enough for Zerg players to prepare for it.
I wonder if, like, maybe instead of going, because he was looking for a fast timing, I wonder if it would have been better just to wait till he had like 12 or plus Hellions. Because, I mean, I think Solar really wasn't making Lings, like, he was still droning at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Could have been.
Well, he'll definitely deny some mining. This is going to be nice.
Yeah, as it is. Try and get whatever he can. 7 drones in total and denial on the mining. Even maybe a Spore Crawler so the Banshee could go over to the third base. That's kind of cool, but a Lair's already done, so an Overseer would be around anyway.
It's reminding me of this week's co-op mission, man. All the Spore Crawlers for detection was such a pain to deal with.
Yeah, it was. Oh, that was a stressful game.
Yeah, I've actually...
Mech again.
A lot of my co-op friends have actually been complaining that they can't beat it this week. They saw our video and like I woke up to like 6 Skype messages saying like, hey, can we do co-op this week?
Oh wow. See, for me, when we got the trig and we got the communication down, it wasn't really tough. It was just stressful. Yeah. Just keeping on top of things is the way that it's got to work, which is always the case with Void Rifts. Just keeping on top of them.
Well, the let's see here. Where's the Shift K? Nope, Shift L. There we go. I guess the Banshee did live, which is nice. Got paired up with the second one. These can't really do much now, though. But these will not be bad for the fight later. Either A, they get sent in while Solar's not paying attention because he's looking at a main push, or B, these can help snipe off critical units like Ravagers and otherwise. It is mech out of KeeN again, but oh, I don't know. That last game looked okay. I'm still not super convinced KeeN plays mech very well. Only because we've seen one terrible game out of him. It's an unfair assumption to be making, but I don't have that confidence I do when I watch Major or Beyond or anyone else really try these builds.
I absolutely agree, but I also don't mind if KeeN is working towards a goal here. You know, every tournament is just a bit better of a practice environment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't want to... It's not like, oh, God, he'll never play mech well.
Yeah, but it's, you know, we cast the guy so much that we're going to see the growing pains of whatever he tries to adapt to. And it seems to be that Korea as a whole, Korean Terrans as a whole, are trying to adapt to mech because KeeN, I would say, like, never really played mech. He was one of the guys that just was the last guy I would think of. Him and like Bjorn. Bjorn almost never plays mech either. Actually, can't think of a game where I saw Bjorn play mech.
I should have said Gumio, but oh wow. You know what?
That's so much.
We don't get to do this in replays often. We're gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna slow this down. Oh no, I'm sorry, KeeN. I'm so sorry to have shown that at full speed.
Well, that was just a disaster. I don't know if that was a misclick because he tried to go up to the high ground of this ramp. I've certainly done that before, or he thought the banelings were retreating, but it did not work out very well.
Dude, KeeN is getting so screwed by banelings this game. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, third natural 12 SCVs go down. This SCV building a fourth base even dies. His double Thor drop isn't really working.
When it rains, it pours. And poor KeeN.
Potentially going to get sniped. I was going to say those Hydras were like so close to finding it. A little late to the response. Let's see what boost away. One good thing happening. He saves the Thors.
Yeah. Well, I'm on the upgrade tab for some reason. I shouldn't be, because then you guys can see 10 swarm hosts are on deck. Sawyer seems to be one of the few Koreans who is okay with swarm hosts, I guess.
14 of them is quite a lot. 16 even. My bad.
I will say, by the way, I'm not a fan of replay casting. Obviously prefer live content, etc., etc. But the fact that we can sometimes go back and watch those horrific moments again, it's the only selling point for me to ever want to do replay cast. But right now, it's a pretty tough situation for KeeN. He took 3 different instances of bad hits, bad attacks in a row from banelings, from that link canceling this base and delaying it a little bit further. Like, this is a guy who's on his last life, and he can't afford any mistakes. I just to have already made the ones he's made. His armor is going to get shut down too. He was relying on these armor upgrades. They're pretty critical.
Yeah, they will. Segmenting some off. They're trying to chase down the SCVs, but decided to go for the command center instead. Instant liftoff. That's the good news. The Locust will eventually time out here, but KeeN, thinking about pushing, is a little more hesitant. The swarm host did manage to run away before being found. Some of them already have their locusts, or never used them in the first place. I do love the idea of Hellbat drops.
Yeah, swarm hosts are actually surprisingly speedy, especially on creep. So it's like, it's just really tough to keep up with these things.
There's gonna be a lot of locusts. The banelings don't really take out all of the Hellbats. The locusts spend a lot of time on them, but this army still is reduced to not a very convincing size.
Yeah, I mean, the Thors are still standing, but the worst part, look at that. Blue Flame now finishing up. Rest in peace. No Hellbats to benefit from.
Yeah.
I mean, this was one of the key parts that was missing out of the last game. It's the difference of like 3 to 2 shots sometimes versus just like melting everything when you've got Blue Flame. And keeping those locusts washed off your units is key. It's huge. It's what keeps the tanks alive. Otherwise, they're too busy friendly firing each other like idiots.
It's key to this game.
There you go.
He is in the word key.
So, Finalius is the swarm hosts on creep have the same move speed as boosted medevacs, 5.3 something. I'm gonna try and keep an eye on that next time I see a boosted medevac.
We're gonna confirm. Okay, yeah.
If we see one, it might be over here now. Yeah.
It's gonna boost them, damn it.
Dude, help us with some
Too late.
science. Over here, maybe?
There's like no reason
Boost
to
these
them.
guys?
There really isn't. They're probably not gonna die before he even touches them again.
Oh, it's like what the ones you wanted to drop, but those aren't getting boosted, you're right. Well, the Hellbat attack notably does kill like 20-something workers, but this is hardly an amount that is going to bring it back into the game. Got round 2 of the, around like 15, I should say, rather the Locusts coming in. Come on, boost something, man.
No.
I want to confirm this suspicion.
There's nothing to use them. Like even the amount of APM needed to save them would be worth it.
What was the number? 5 point something was what we said, right?
Right, yeah.
Because with Solar taking a 3-1, he will go on to fight against Cure in the finals. And we're sure to see a medevac boost somewhere in there. Unless Cure just plays completely different for no reason.
No real reason. Yeah, I think we'll see it. That's when our signs will happen.
Well, in keeping with trying to stay spoiler free, I don't have all the replays handy. I now have to go get the replays for the finals. So just give me a moment here, guys, when we go to break. Big thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in today. Thank you, Hardy Marty, for the 35-month resub. Sorry I missed that. As well as that Dirty Dancing 32. But, boop, got a hiccup going on. That's not good. We'll see you guys here in a couple minutes while I go grab the replays for the grand finals. It's going to be Cure vs. Solar, best of 5. We'll see you soon.